Back everybody to the Vinyl Vault. We have a very special video today. Today we'll be doing a challenge where both Gina Lees and I will be guessing our worst to best Radiohead albums. So we both made a list of our worst to best, and we also made a second list guessing the other person's worst to best. We'll see how similar ours are and also how close we got to guessing the other person's, right? So there's 9 Radiohead albums. We left off the Thom Yorke solo ones. It's just the 9 Radiohead studio albums. And
it was tough.
This is really tough. And usually I don't like doing tier lists because I don't like... I don't know. I just... There's no way to rank music, I think, in a good way. I think there's different moods for different occasions. Mm-hmm. But what do you say we get started? So you guess what my number 9 is going to be.
Okay. I think your number 9 is going to be Pablo Honey.
My number 9 is Pablo Honey. Yeah, I mean, this album, it was Radiohead, very raw, very uncut, very young. I know you love that album a lot. But, I mean, Pablo Honey had hits like Anyone Can Play Guitar. What I'm going to guess as your number 9 is also Pablo Honey.
Yes. Number 9 is Pablo Honey for me.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that Pablo Honey just comes up short when it comes to Radiohead albums. But moving to number 8, it gets a little trickier. What would you think my number 8 is?
I think your number 8 would be The Bends.
She's good. It is The Bends. The Bends, I'm not just going in order of how they made them. I promise you it changes up. But The Bends, to me, was very good, a very great alternative album, but their later discography just proved to be better. Mm-hmm. I do love songs like Street Spirit, Fade Out. I love Nice Dream. My Iron Lung is probably the best song on the album.
Song, yeah.
Fake Plastic Trees, High and Dry, The Bends, the song. It's a good album, but my only problem with it is that there's better. There's better Radiohead albums.
Absolutely.
Now I'm going to guess that your number 8 is Hail to the Thief.
Mm-mm.
It's not? What is it then?
The Bends.
It is also The Bends. So I didn't even know we were this alike. I mean, I went out on a limb, so now my list is all kinds of screwed up. So you're going with The Bends.
Yeah.
All right. And I feel similar. Like, how do you feel about The Bends?
I kind of ranked mine with how often I listen to the album, so I don't listen to The Bends very often. But I love My Iron Lung. That's one of my favorite songs off that album. But yeah, I just don't listen to it that often, to be honest with you, compared to other Radiohead albums.
Yeah, I should have went with The Bends as your number 8.
Yeah. That's all right. So far, I'm killing it, so.
All right. What would you say my number 7 is?
Okay, I said your number 7 was Hail to the Thief.
It is not. My number 7 is King of Limbs.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I personally love the album. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But when making a tier list or worst to best, I do have to account with the influence of the album. Did the album have a reaching influence? If you went track by track, I would say that the album is absolutely fantastic. Songs like Separator, Codex, Little by Little is one of my favorites. Bloom is a fantastic introductory song. The album's fantastic song by song, but I think influence and audience reach needs to be a factor here, and it didn't hit that, and it was actually considered probably by some to be Radiohead's worst album. With all factors aside, I have to go with King of Limbs at number 7. And now to guess your number 7. It's tough. It gets harder and it gets harder, I'll tell you. I'm going to go with Amnesiac.
No. It is not.
Well, then let us know what number 7 is then.
Hail to the Thief.
My goodness. My goodness.
It's hard because it just depends too on like what kind of day it is, but no, it's not Amnesiac. It's Hail to the Thief.
No. Why does Hail to the Thief come in at number, was it 7? Why does Hail to the Thief come in at number 7 for you?
Well, yeah, I would say it was interchangeable. My 7 and 6, I was going back and forth because there are a couple songs in Hail to the Thief that I listen to too many times.
Yeah.
And it would be Wolf at the Door and The Gloaming. Like, those songs are just...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very fair number 7. I think Hell Thief could be on number 7.
Yeah, and it was interchangeable with my... I was, like, debating between my 6 and 7. Hell the Thief and another album, which I cannot say yet. So it was a difficult decision, but
Right.
I do like Hell the Thief a lot.
I think that's fair. I think my guessing of your list is absolutely botched, and I'm terrible at this.
It's all right.
But now you have to guess my number 6.
Okay. I think your number 6... Well, I thought your 6 was King of Limbs, but you said that was 7.
See, we're starting. Maybe we don't know our rankings as best as we did.
Well, we never really talked about this before, so this is something we're learning.
True.
Something.
It would be weird if we just completely guessed ours and every single one was right. That would be kind of. It would seem like a staged video, wouldn't
right?
It?
But it's interesting to hear what you think my ranking is, and then me trying to guess his ranking was interesting for me too. So
yeah.
This is fun.
I would say, well, coming at my number 6, you guessed King of Limbs.
6?
Mine is Hell of the Thief at number 6. I put it ahead of King of Limbs solely because it has individual tracks that were just smash hits. They were amazing songs in the best of Radiohead's discography. Like There, I think Mixomatosis, Wolf at the Door, 2 + 2 = 5 are fan favorites.
I forgot about Mixomatosis. Yeah, those
are fan favorites. So, with that being, I think Hell of Thief has major issues, though. I think it's too bloated, and you just should have cut off like 5 songs off of it, Radiohead. You cut 5 songs off of it, you trim it down to just the best of the best, and that would have been a top 5 Radiohead album. But there's a lot of bloat on there. So Hell of Thief has really strong, really high highs, but there's a lot of bloat. So those really good songs, they just fall short for me. Because there's too many songs, and I don't like albums that are too long. So Hell of Thief at number 6.
That's why Hell of Thief was my 7. There's a lot of skippable kind of songs on there that I just...
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's tough with that one.
What do you think my 6 is?
Well, I had the Bends written down for your number 6.
Really?
Yeah, I had the Bends written down for 6. So it is clear that I'm very off the mark on that one.
Yeah. No, it's King of Limbs.
King of Limbs at 6? I think that's fair in your ranking.
Fun fact, that is my first Radiohead album that I bought on vinyl.
It was. I think it was for me
I really
too.
enjoy the album. I think it's a little underrated, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that was the first one I had too. King of Limbs, I mean, I think you listen to it a lot.
I do.
So I do see why this ranks so high. And I listen to it a lot, but I think it just...
Me personally, I really, really enjoy King of Limbs. I think it's underrated. Go check it out if you haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend checking that
album
out. It's hated for zero reason at all. It's very good. But yeah, I messed that one up severely. So now...
I had a feeling my ranking was going to like throw you off a little bit.
Yeah, it did kind of. It's definitely not what I wrote down. But now we're moving to the top 5. So these are the top 5 ones. And top 5 Radiohead albums. So what do you think I put at number 5?
I think you put Amnesiac at 5.
Correct. I did put Amnesiac at 5. Amnesiac, it's tough for me to put it anywhere higher than 5, even though I love it so much. I think it was an album that preceded one of their most iconic, one of their greatest, Kid A, and the sessions were recorded. It's pretty much Kid A B-sides.
Yeah.
And the thing is you can't rank a B-side album that didn't have the intent to be as dominant of an album as it was. Even though I love songs like I Might Be Wrong, Packed Like Sardines, Life in a Glass House, You and Whose Army, to name a few.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, this album is so good, song by song. I listen to it so much comparative to the other Radiohead albums, but it didn't have the backing that some of their more iconic albums that you're going to see deeper on the list. I just think that it being B-side sessions of Kid A, it loses some value there. And also, like I said, fan appeal and influence go into account when you talk about albums. But yeah, my number 5 is Amnesiac.
What do you think my number 5 is?
I'm going to stray away from the list here. I'm gonna go away from my list because I already know I'm wrong. I put
Yeah.
put King of Limbs, but I'm gonna guess it is also Amnesiac.
You're right.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That worked out.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like our lists are similar so far. It's just the 8 and or 7
me
and
me
6
put me
are
putting the Benz
switched.
and Hell of the Thief. I mixed those up on yours. I took a risk making the list. I had your order right now actually, and I switched the Benz and Hell of the Thief. So yeah, you as well, Amnesiac.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Amnesiac?
I mean, it's the same. I love all this. I might be wrong. Yeah, there's a lot of great songs on there, but and then my 4, 3, 2, 1 albums are just much better than Amnesiac, so I just had to put it at 5. I do listen to it quite often. But
It just falls a little short, I
Yeah.
think. And I think with the fan stigma around it being a B-side album to Kid A, really makes it lose its value. But it cracks my top 5. It cracks your
Yeah.
top 5.
it's a good album.
I'm glad we're on the same page there because I do think it's number 5 on their list. But now it gets tough because now there's only 4 albums remaining and they are all fantastic albums, all S-tier albums. If you had to guess what my number 4 would be, what would you guess?
Moonshaped Pool.
Moonshaped Pool, she says. It is a moonshaped pool. Very good job. Moonshaped Pool, I consider it to be a modern day classic. It only came out in 2016, but this is one of the greatest probably the greatest album to come out from 2016 to present. This album is one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. And I don't think it gets the credit it deserves because it's a newer album and it hasn't had time to age well. But I think it has aged well in the little time it's been out. Some of my favorite songs, the first single that came out, Burn the Witch, Deck's Dark, Desert Island Disc. I love the second half of the album. True Love Waits, the closing song, is extremely sad. You will cry to it. Present Tense, The Numbers. One of my favorite songs, and probably my favorite song, period, on this album would be Identikit.
Yes.
I think that is one of the greatest Radiohead songs,
Absolutely.
period. And this album, front to back, it's so new. It's new avenues taken by Radiohead. And it is one of the most beautiful albums I've ever heard. And it still only comes in at my number 4. So this album is fantastic. Please check it out if you have not. It is a modern day classic. But now, I have to guess your number 4.
Yeah.
And, to stick with a similar track, I'm also going with the Moonshaped Pool.
You might be upset with me.
So it's not.
It is actually In Rainbows. This was
Interesting development. Very interesting development we have going on here.
This was very difficult for me because it was I was switching back and forth between In Rainbows and another one, and I love In Rainbows dearly. I listen to it a lot, to be honest with you. But
I'm shocked right now.
yeah, I knew you would.
I am shocked by this list.
It was difficult for me to put it at number 4.
Wow.
I'm gonna say that.
I mean, I can't disagree because here's the thing: when you get to the top 4 Radiohead albums, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. It all makes sense. Like it makes sense to have In Rainbows at number 4. It makes sense to have a Moonshaped Pool at number 4. This is why this band is so hard to rank.
They're just that good.
Yeah,
That's why.
because their albums are really diverse.
Yeah.
One is
They're all
not
very different.
similar to the other in any way. In Rainbows, though, at number 4 for you? We're on number 4, right?
Yep.
Number 4 in Rainbows.
I mean, the beginning of that album is amazing. You get 15-step Body Snatchers. I mean, it just starts off so amazing. It's a great album. I'm not saying that I don't like it. There's not a single album really that I don't like of Radiohead. It's just that I decided to put that at 4 because my top 3 just do more for me personally.
What would you say top 3 songs in Rainbows are?
Oh, okay. Reckoner, Body Snatchers, and probably 15-step.
I like that top 3.
Oh, I like House of Cards too. It's hard. I can't.
This album is... I'm not going to go too much into detail about this album because, as you see, it has not been on my list yet.
Yeah.
But it is a cult classic. It has a crazy following. People adore this album.
Yeah, it's great.
I love this album.
It's great.
But that is your number 4.
It is.
Now you got to guess my number 3. And this is where it gets interesting. It just keeps getting harder and harder.
Okay, I put your number 3. I did OK Computer.
What do you guys think of that pick?
I think it's right.
It is OK Computer.
I'm so good at this.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of people probably won't like this take. They probably do not like OK Computer at 3. It's either 1 or 2, interchangeably. But for me personally, I can recognize the cultural impact as one of the greatest albums ever made.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. But in comparison to other Radiohead albums, you got to remember, this is my list. This is what do I play the most? What do I enjoy the most? I love the album dearly. But I have a different taste than maybe most people. Maybe some people think Pablo Honey's the greatest Radiohead album ever made. Now, I think OK Computer, like I said, it's a top 3, and if this album makes a top 3 on a Radiohead list, then it is good. But there's 2 others that for me, they have had more influence and more impact on me throughout the years of listening to them. And OK Computer, I love it dearly. One of the greatest albums ever made. But there are 2 others that just for me did more for me. Now I got to guess your number 3. Oh, this gets tough, man. I'm going with A Moon-Shaped Pool.
That's correct.
Now, I did not have that written down.
Yeah.
That was me winging it. Yeah, I actually had written down Kid A for number 3. But I'm going with A Moon-Shaped Pool, and it is, in fact, A Moon-Shaped Pool.
It is. That's my number 3. I love the whole album. It just flows nicely. I love every single track on that. It's just easy listening, and I'm more of like an easy listener. I don't really like I throw it on when I'm like doing homework, or if I'm just chilling in my room, like trying to like relax a little bit. It's a nice, easy going album.
Yeah, it's an easy listen. There's not too much abrasive things on it like you get on OK Computer.
I really, really enjoy Moon-Shaped Pool. So.
And number 3, I did not see that coming. I sort of had it on the outskirts of 3. I never even thought, I was like, okay, here's the top 3, and then let's start at number 4 with the Moon-Shaped Pool. The Moon-Shaped Pool at your number 3, I think it's a bold take. You already know how I feel about the album, absolutely modern day classic.
Yeah, I love it.
But now it's only down to 2.
Yep.
And
this was
I guess it sort of does get easier now because you have 50-50 shot.
I knew for sure it was between 2 albums, but I just couldn't figure out which one was number 1 or 2 for you. For you, I'm saying, when I was ranking yours. I know it's 2, and well, obviously the last 2 left, but...
What would you say?
I said his number 2 was In Rainbows.
It is In Rainbows. In Rainbows, I love it dearly. I think it's one of the most iconic albums of all time. I know that OK Computer is, and why did I put it ahead of it? Simply because I enjoy listening to it more. I think it's just a better album front to back. It's easy listening. It's more indie. It's not as alternative.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think every song on there I enjoy. I'd say the only one I'm maybe iffy about is Nude. That's one sometimes I'll skip Nude. But every song on there is fantastic. Like I said, the front half of 15-Step, Body Snatchers, Nude, Weird Fishes, and then you get in the second half and you have House of Cards, Reckoner, Jigsaw Falling into Place, Videotape, which is an extremely sad song. All I Need. To me, this is like a super album where every song could easily be my top 10 favorite songs of all time. This album is that good. If I had to pick a favorite song off it, I'd probably say Jigsaw Falling into Place is the best song on there. And I just think that influence matters when making a list of best Radiohead albums. And I know I say personal enjoyment, and like I said, if it's personal enjoyment, this may be number 1. But when it comes to outside factors, this album has a cult-like following. I widely see In Rainbows being people's favorite albums outside of even just Radiohead, just albums, period. This album broke new ground. This album was a free album. This album was a pay-what-you-want album. So you could pay $1 for it. You could pay $1,000 for it. You pay what you want, and that's really never been done before. And I know the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, paid $500 for his copy of In Rainbows. So it shows you the cultural impact and just how iconic it was, is why I put it ahead of OK Computer. That's just my personal opinion, personal enjoyment. In Rainbows, fantastic album. That's my number 2. If I have to guess your number 2, let's see. It's tough. So we got, what, 2 left?
Yep.
I'm going to go with number 2, Kid A.
It is Kid A. I was listening to it today, actually, and I was jamming very hard in my car to it. I really enjoy Kid A so much. I really enjoy Everything in Its Right Place, the national anthem. Kid A, the song, is actually pretty good.
It's a mood.
Optimistic, I really enjoy Optimistic. Idiotech, you need to listen to Idiotech if you have not already. Idiotech is, yes, I love that song.
Maybe the best off Kid A.
Yeah, but it's a great album. I ranked it my number 2.
That's fair. So now we all know that my number 1 is Kid A.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one for me was an easy choice, even though a lot of people would disagree. We disagree. I think it is the best Radiohead album. I think it's the most iconic, the most influential, and the most important to music. It was preceding their record-setting album, OK Computer, in 1997. They followed up in 2000 with Kid A. And it was all risk and very little reward making an album like this. Thom Yorke had done the OK Computer tour for the first time as a real rock star, as a real superstar band. And this tour drained everything out of Thom and the band. And some say Thom had a mental breakdown of just playing alternative songs, and he just needed to get away from playing guitar and playing these simple alternative songs off of OK Computer, The Bends and Pablo Honey. And then he went full electronic, and he made a very dystopian album that is very dark and twisted and full of weird synths and electronics. And that's a risk for a band at the top of their game to then release an album that some would call career suicide or sort of running off into the woods. And this album aged beautifully. It's now considered a classic. Songs like National Anthem, How to Disappear Completely, Everything in Its Right Place, Idiotech, In Limbo. These are all songs that, to me, are iconic. And to me, it was a clear choice that this was the greatest Radiohead album. Just because the cultural impact it had and how important it was to music as a whole, and the music we saw that followed it that was influenced by it. So we know your number 1.
My number 1 is OK Computer.
I did have that.
You did have that as my number 1?
I did.
Yeah, my number 1's OK Computer. I mean, every song on here, I don't think, well, there's a couple actually that I don't really listen to a whole lot, but the first half of this album,
it hits hard.
Hits hard.
It hits hard.
I love this album. I think it's great, and I also love OK Not OK, which is
OK Not OK, but fantastic. I know what they do. This album in the second half is fantastic as well.
It is, yeah.
I sort of knew it was yours. It actually started my list with this being number 1.
Yeah.
I started from 1 down, and it's an amazing album. What are some of your favorite songs off it?
Airbag, Paranoid Android is my favorite song off of this. Subterranean Homesick Alien. I like Exit Music too for a film. Electioneering I like. Climbing Up the Walls, another great one. No Surprises is a very, very sad song. I really think it's a beautiful song. I love that song.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, those are my favorite songs off of OK Computer.
Yeah, I mean that album is just, it's too good, and I wanted to rank it higher, but personal taste. My favorite songs off OK Computer, I would say, are No Surprises, Lucky, and Climbing Up the Walls. Those 3 to me stand out in an ultra depressive way. But yeah, I thought there were moments where I thought that we were just totally off Like we were like, man, we really botched each other's lists and guessing, and then we like sort of got back on track, and then we each started guessing them with ease.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting to hear about your list and how different my thoughts were to what yours were, and I know these are subject to change.
Oh yeah.
But I think it is very interesting to see just our rankings. It was not what I expected, and you did fantastic. I mean, she guessed like my top 5 or 6. Like she hit like 6 in a row.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm that transparent about my rankings with Radiohead. But yeah, check out all these albums. Check out all of Radiohead's albums. They're in a fantastic band, and it shows for us to be able to make a video like this talking about a band this iconic, and when they have this good of an album selection. That I think it goes to show that if you haven't checked out Radiohead, you definitely should.
Definitely.
I don't think we got any disagreements there.
No.
But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like it, subscribe, and comment what your favorite Radiohead albums are. I would love to hear how people agree and or disagree with our picks.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we will see you next time on the Vinyl Vault. See you later.
Bye.